what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Ninja Warrior podcast. Tonight, we are 2 episodes away from finally being done with Ninja Warrior Junior Season 3.
Yep, we've been covering this for way too long. I bet you guys are getting sick of it, but we're 2 episodes away. We might as well make the commitment. We've already said tons of times that we really want to finish this and wrap it up. So, we have 2 left, and today we are covering both of them.
Yep, today we are covering both the semifinals for 2 as well as the finals. Because at this point, I just want to get this over with, as well as to both you and everyone else watching this video.
Yeah, so this will be the final time we'll talk about AW Junior. We're not doing some kind of stage 5 Ninja Warrior or anything. We are just going to be covering these last 2 episodes and getting it done. And then we have some stuff to catch up on.
Yep, we have these Stage 5 Ninja Awards that are going to be mainly our very first priority. That's going to be the first priority. That will probably be out before anything else. Unless something comes up, but I think we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, but anyway, I think it's time we get into this with the first race of episode 14, the semifinals part 2, which was in the 11 and 12-year-old age group between Nathaniel Hanvu, the returning champion for 9-10-year-old age group, and the six-pack ninja Jake Sconti.
Yep, Nathaniel Hanvu in the beginning of segment this time. And seriously, this is about him getting a parade for every single time he got a win last season, which makes him seem very overprivileged.
Yeah, this kid seems way too special. I think it does remind me of that one time that kid with the yellow mohawk this season, like that 9-year-old. That we said was overprivileged because he got the same exact treatment.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. When I look at Kai Baxter and talk about the other kid, put him on screen.
Yeah, I don't remember his name because I think it was called just, the American Ninja or something. I don't know.
Yeah. He had, very, American colors on him, but he's not Max Lever, so yeah.
Alright, but anyway, moving on. This was definitely a close race as, until the end, it was really neck and neck. Until Nathaniel Hanvu barely passed Jake Sconti on the wall, but it was definitely just really close.
Yeah, definitely speaking, one of the closest races of the season. And it gets ended very anticlimactically by the next race between Joey Way and Ryan Cooper, which ends with Joey Way falling on the realistic ledges.
Yep, that happened, and I have nothing else to elaborate on.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. We're only 3 minutes in, we're already done with the first section.
There wasn't much to talk about, okay? Just one really close race and one really small race.
It's alright, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Alright, but anyway, after that, we had the knockout round. We started off in a matchup between
Nathaniel Hanvu and Joey Way.
Yep, this was another very disappointing race for Joey Way as he fell on elusive ledges for a second time.
Yeah, this time was definitely due to hesitation because he took two extra swings that he really didn't need, and then he fell on transition to coconut. Well, definitely that first fall definitely made him less confident about the obstacle.
Yeah, for sure. Nathaniel Hanvu got a free win. And the next match between Ryan Cooper and Jake Sconti, which was pretty equal until Jake Sconti fell on Spring Forward, which I will fully admit I saw coming a mile away because, on this rewatch, I should say, because I remembered it happening.
Well, you can't really mention that without, causing some red flags so you provide context.
I guess technically speaking, yeah. But, anyway. Ray and Cooper ended up getting the win, meaning the final showdown was between him and Nathaniel Hanvu, which was pretty disappointing because Ryan Cooper and Nathaniel Hanvu were pretty even until the Spring Forward. I don't know why my mind went flying squirrel for some reason. I mean, it is a better obstacle. Okay, you have a point in that one, yeah. But, Joey Way took an extra swing on the Spring Forward, and Nathaniel didn't, so he ended up getting a win. And because of Ryan Cooper's fast time, he got the wild card. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if that was because of his earlier races. Meaning he didn't even have to win this one, he already won.
Yeah, and they're odd, and especially when we get to the teens, some wild card things will really infuriate me, definitely speaking.
Yeah, we're gonna get there, but this is the episode where the wild card actually start being a little bit bullcrap for us as a whole.
Yep. Anyway, after that, we have the 9 and 10-year-old age group. We're starting off in a matchup between
Max Libre and Drew Bennett.
Yep, this along with the next race were in a fast forward segment. With this win, I speak what easy win for Max Libre. Drew Bennett ended up falling behind on elliptic ledges, and that was that. Then we had Brandon Avila and Zoe Harrison. And I definitely want Zoe to win.
Yep. Well, yeah, I see what you mean there. Zoe is definitely the underdog here, but I think we all knew that Brandon Avila was going to win it for sure. Yeah, as Zoe ended up falling on the elliptic ledge, definitely not the way that any of us were probably expecting her to fall behind.
Yeah, no, I think it was just to, lose sight of him on, like a good price or something, but nope, she just falls, so yeah, Brandon gets a free win.
Yep, then we have the knockout round. To start off with a matchup between
Brandon Avila and Drew Bennett.
Yeah, this was a really, really close race between Drew and Brandon. But the one ended up being Brandon as Drew ended up falling behind on the flying saucers. But it was really a back and forth race between the two of them. But eventually, Brandon ended up busting ahead and got on top of the wall faster.
Yep, then we had, once again, Zoe Harrison versus Max Libre. This is the case where he doesn't want Zoe to win. I knew for a fact Max Libre was going to crush her. And he did.
Yep, she was able to get past the elliptic ledge this time around, but Max Libre destroyed her on flying saucers, and that was that.
But before we move on to the finals, we do have one more way to talk about between Max Libre and his Ninja Ghost Kayla Bergstrom.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about that. But so I know what they did with the back strands, how they had them race each other. We had Max Libre and Caleb Bergstrom, and even though Caleb is still a young ninja and still gave Max a pretty big challenge, they still decided, what to give him the treatment of he's lame and old, even though Caleb's only like 22.
Yes! Fuck you!
Yeah, it's like we haven't seen Caleb at his best since his rookie season, but even so, that's just unfair. It's just really unfair. Yeah.
Yeah, like going Austin Gray old was stupid, but this is even worse.
Yeah, because Caleb's not even 25 yet.
Yeah, it's just Wong is on so many levels.
Yeah, but anyway, moving on. Now let's move on to the final matchup,
which was probably the intense part of the episode.
Probably. We haven't seen the teens yet, but this is probably it. As it was Drew Bennett versus Max Libre, and Max Libre was able to bust Brandon off his game and finally got a win against him, but it was just really freaking close.
Yep, Brandon was a little bit sloppy on climbing up the wall, so that's how Max was just barely able to get ahead, but it was just barely.
Yeah, definitely one of the closest matches of the season, and definitely the closest match of the episode. But that means we have one more age group to go.
Yep, that being the 13 and 14-year-olds. And that age group started off with a matchup between Luke Millman and Taylor Green.
Yep, this was definitely a matchup I was waiting to see, especially just seeing Taylor Green again, obviously. But this was pretty easy win for Luke Millman as Taylor ended up falling behind on sideways. And, it's those little imperfections that really, hurt the competitors in the end, but especially in this age group.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's like, just think, like, if you miss one disability, if you take one extra swing, you're done. And they really made that clear last episode, and it definitely made it clear here as well.
Yeah, so, basically speaking, Luke Millman ended up winning, but it was still a really close race. And the second matchup definitely showed how much the Southern competitor improved, as we had Evan White and Jordan Carr. Now, last time we saw Jordan Carr was in the quarterfinals, and she ended up, she fell twice, and she didn't do all that well, but you could tell she was really trying to get ahead of her competitors, and it shows that she got a wild card here as well, and she came very close to actually beating Evan White.
Yep, she fell behind on sideways, but was able to make up time and almost caught up to him on Spin Mo Wizard, but she ended up messing up with dismount. Well, she ended up falling. She didn't fall per se. She basically lost so much time that by the time she recovered, Evan was already done.
Yeah, but Evan White, he's a very fierce competitor. He beat Taylor twice a couple weeks ago. He beat Taylor twice a couple episodes back, so you know. Oh, this is definitely the matchup you want to see.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, after that, we have another matchup between Luke Melman and Jordan Carr.
Yep, this was a pretty insignificant race in the grand scheme of things, as Luke Melman easily won. Aside from the fact that Luke Melman came within 3/100ths of a second of beating Jackson Aerodos's previous fastest time of the age group.
Was it that close?
Yeah, they didn't review it during the race, but later on they mentioned it was a 25.45 and Jackson Aerodos's was a 25.42. Wow, I didn't really know it was that close. That's crazy.
Yeah, they didn't even bother to. You think they always highlight that? Wow. But anyway, the second matchup was definitely the more anticipated one, as we had the second rematch between Evan White and Taylor Green. These two have went head-to-head 3 times. The third time here, Taylor ended up winning, and man, am I excited.
Yep, so Evan White and Taylor Green are pretty even throughout the entire race until Spinball Wizard, Evan White fell in the final lache, and Taylor Green ended up making it, and she won, and she moved on to the finals against Luke Millman.
Yep, this is definitely the more disappointing place.
Yeah, Taylor Green was definitely the one I actually wanted to win this one, so I was really happy with the result. Oh, but the way it ended up happening was really disappointing, as Luke Millman ended up falling on sideways. He rushed to dismount.
Yeah, I mean, you have to take that risk, and if he didn't take that risk, things could have turned out a lot worse, but also a lot better, and he could have still won, honestly.
Yeah, I do have to wonder if Taylor Green still would have won if he didn't fail there.
Yeah, if he had decided to take the extra swing, I don't know. But anyway, Luke Millman did get a wild card in the finals, so at least it's that. And yeah, that sets up a Final Four for all 3 age groups.
Yeah, this episode was definitely entertaining, a lot of fun, and didn't take all that long to cover.
Nope, we're 11 minutes in!
I don't know, but it was still a really good episode overall. There were 3 really intense races there. A new fast time at Luke Millman. And honestly, some really good ninjas. Is really the only person is just like,
is he really here?
Is probably Joey Way. But don't get me wrong, he's still a really good ninja. But honestly, it just surprised me that he was even there in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, even Jordan Carr was really skilled and really fast. So I can get why she got a wild card and got in now.
Yeah, again, and she did a really good job. And she really tried her best to keep up with Evan White in that one race. Like I said, honestly, if she had stick that dismount, she might have actually won.
I don't know. It definitely would have made a very close race. A close buzzer beat, I should say.
Yeah, it'd probably be the better word. But that means that we can move on to the final episode, Najoya Jr., the finals.
Yep, we are finally here. It took us, I think, like 7 months to cover everything, but it's happening. Finally is.
Yep, so yeah, let's get into this. So the very first matchup was in the 9 and 10-year-old age group between Brandon Neville and Liz Polsgrove.
Yep, Liz ended up getting the more important segment here. She got a segment about her breaking her arm and her allowing her to focus on more one-handed training. And you know, it's cool and everything, but you gotta mention how dangerous that would be.
Yeah, because like you can see her doing laches with her casto on, so.
You sure you are just
to bite the thing again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, but as I've always said, nothing can stop you from being wild if you are wild inside.
Wow. Alright, but certainly something. But Brandon also got a very small segment about his career on Ninja Jr., but more specifically on his little brother, and them training together. It's kind of surprising the fact that it took them this long to mention this, because like it was on the playing ground and a topic they definitely could have talked about.
Yeah, it kind of made me wonder if they would, but they did.
Yeah, and this race was surprisingly pretty close.
Yeah, Liz Polsgrove actually took the lead on Lunatic Ledges, and that definitely surprised me.
Yeah, she got the lead until Flying Saucers, where Bladen just said, I can link these, you can't," and he linked them together, and she couldn't, and he got the thing buzzed into the buzzer bus.
Bad way of describing it, but yes, that is exactly what happened.
Yeah, and then we have the second matchup between Max Libre and Grace Snyder, and this was definitely less close.
Yeah, no, as soon as Max made the move on Lucy Clutches on one, it was all from there. Because Grace stayed ahead. Because Grace stayed behind.
Yeah, and obviously won. But I want to mention something about these two races in particular. They both said that about the girls sticking with Brandon and Max when they only passed the floating step. When they only passed hopscotch.
Yeah, like, dude, we haven't even seen most of the race, and you're saying, oh, they're sticking with them. They're so scored up. Like, no, they're not equal. I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, and you ignore the fact that Liz made it there by chance. Grace made it there by a wild card, so you get a point there.
Yeah, and technically speaking, they said Liz was undefeated, which surprised me, but you know, the main reason why she was there was probably because Grace fell.
Yeah. I don't know how close that race would have been between the two of them, but it definitely was something, and, it just goes to show how generous they were this season with handing out those wild cards. Like, I don't know, no, like it was just like it was no one's business, really.
Yeah, we'll get on this later, but the wild cards. Anyway, moving on, we have the final matchup between Brandon and Max.
Yep, there was no seeding round. That was just a knockout round. So we get the final match of the 19-year-old age group decided champions, and man, was that something.
Yep, it was definitely a very close matchup, and very climatically was able to end the 19-year-old age group. It was really, well, it wasn't a close race between the two of them. It was definitely the most intense weight, one of the most intense races of the season.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. It was basically even all the way through. The only thing that really changed things was Max being slightly faster up the wall, but really it was just fucking close.
Yeah, so it ended with Max taking first place, him winning a $15,000 scholarship. Then we had Brandon Avila, who took home a $10,000 scholarship. Then we had Liz Polsgrove, who had the faster time of the course, so she took $5,000 home, and then Grace Snyder took $2,500.
Yeah, and definitely a pretty good stagger away. I think it's cool that, despite the fact that I think wildcards are stupid, I do think that at least this means that more girls can take home the title. It's not just weighted against the men.
I guess technically yes, because then what happens in the next age group, that may not really be what they are aiming for here.
Yeah, no. Speaking of 11 and 12-year-old age group was next, and it started off with a matchup between
Nathaniel Harnville and Bella Palmer.
Yep, this was definitely the closest race of the 11 and 12-year-old age group.
Yeah, that's pretty sad to say, but yep. So, we had Nathaniel Harnville, who got a very small segment. I am donating his medals to charity, and all I'm going to say to that is, does this really help these kids with motivation? I mean, seriously.
That is just like, yeah, it doesn't really feel like you earned it. Like, it's just basically say, hey, you could have done this by yourself, but, we're just giving it to you as a free consolation prize for doing nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds rude, but that's generally the takeaway from this, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, Bella Palmer definitely got the more interesting segment. Her, talking about who wanted to be the first female champion, and she definitely delivered in this race.
Yep, she was actually able to beat Ninja Nuchin. Even gets the deposit first.
Yeah, so she was in the finals, and the next matchup was between the other two, Ryan Cooper and Charlie Ball.
Yep, Ryan Cooper had a small segment on him telling baseball and how that coordinates the ninja, and, I'll give him this. It's not the most random thing to talk about.
Yeah, they could have just talked about some random thing, but no, they had talked about, like, a sports quiz, so I'll take it there. Charlie Ball's segment was just all about him being shocked he was in the Final Four, or because it took him 2 years, but in reality, a lot of people have been working for, and a lot of people have been doing it for 3 years, and they still haven't done it yet.
Yeah, definitely. For sure. But this was definitely a very disappointing race.
Yeah, we know how Ryan Cooper and Charlie Ball can go head-to-head, but White and Cooper wasn't able to deliver by taking extra swings on losing ledges as well as on spring forward, and because of that, Charlie Ball ended up passing him very quickly and got the win.
Yeah, very quick. And same with the final matchup, which is very sad.
Yeah, it was Charlie Ball versus Bell Palmer, and unfortunately, Charlie Ball fell on the second obstacle.
Yeah, it feels like a repeat of last time, because last time in the 9-10-year-old age group, Nathaniel's opponent fell on I think, the spider wall.
Yeah, I believe, yeah, you actually won that. But it's just crazy that we got a female champion just flat out given to us. Yeah, it doesn't feel all that rewarding in the grand scheme of things, if that's how we're going to get it.
Yeah, no, but still, congrats to Bella.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And if you guys are curious, yes, the awards are all the same for all three age groups, so, yeah. Alright, so before we move on to the 13 and 14-year-old age group, I think we're gonna, probably get a lot of comment hate if we don't go without mentioning the fucking Peacock shit.
Yeah, well, I'll be honest, that is shit.
Yeah, so they had Jesse Graff won the course dressed up as a peacock, and they spent in the entire episode building up who the fuck is this peacock. And I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I didn't care who it was. It was just something very stupid that they wanted to bring up to Padma one time. That's clearly what this was.
Yeah, because even though they had fast forward anyone, they gave everyone a segment and everything. They probably still didn't have enough time to fill up into 40 minutes, so they added that in, and it's just pointless.
Yeah, much agreed. And at least Jesse Graff stayed on the sidelines for everyone else, but it's just annoying.
Yeah, the fact that a lot of time was dedicated to it is probably the main problem of that section of the episode. Yeah, but anyway, it's time to move on to the final age group, the 13 and 14-year-olds. And true to say, this was intense.
To a certain degree, but yeah, I can agree with that.
Alright, but anyway, starting off with a matchup between
Taylor Green and Jackson Iridos, and in my opinion, definitely the most stacked matchup in the entire season.
Yeah, definitely speaking, because Taylor Green, she's really good, but she got here because the people she raced with fell on her, and she got there because of that. But she probably could have made there anyway.
I'd agree on that, definitely. But Jackson, he's fucking fast, and she would need a lot to match up with him. And even though he was a wild card, Jackson's still a force to be reckoned with, and he certainly showed that here.
Yeah, up to Spinball Wizard, they were all even. Taylor was technically behind for a lot of the race, but, she kept up with Jackson pretty well. Until Spinball Wizard, Jackson fell.
Yeah, and then Taylor fell, not 2 seconds later, and, Jackson won.
Yeah, this was definitely pretty sad, because, just like the last 2 races Taylor's won, she could have been handed the victory if she had made it, but, as she mentioned, she was surprised at Jackson's fall so much so she lost focus and ended up missing the last part and the last spinballs, and it was pretty sad just to see her fall there.
Yeah, deep in my heart, I really wanted her to win.
For sure. I mean, I like Jackson, but it's just the underdog. That's knowing what probably paints to all of us, really.
Yeah, we want the surprises to come, not the obvious, and that's what ended up happening.
Yeah, the second matchup was between Phil Folson and Luke Millman, and man, this was a huge disappointment.
Yeah, Luke Millman fell on sideways for the second time.
Yeah, he couldn't really live with taking 2 swings. There was no way he was going to be able to catch up and stay in the lead if he took 2 swings, physically. But the thing is, he still fell there because he was rushing.
Yeah, definitely, but I don't know if you can, again, like you said, you can't really fault him for it. He had to. He didn't have much of a choice.
Yeah, exactly. So, just not really blaming him on that. But obviously, Phil ended up winning, and that meant it was Jackson Iridos versus Phil Folson. And, oh man, this was just really close.
Yeah, this was pretty close until sideways to where Phil took an extra swing while Jackson didn't, and that was the separator right there.
Yep, Phil actually almost fell on Spinball Wizard as well, but of course by then it was too late, and Jackson ended up getting the win.
I do want to mention something though. When they were doing the Sailor Modi, because 3 out of 4 of the ninjas were 14, they thought about all 3 of them going to the big show next year or the year after, depending on when the birthdays are. But Taylor has to wait another 2 years at least, and that must have felt so awkward for her.
Oh yeah, the fact that she still had to wait another 2 years, and they don't even begin to self-soda, it was kind of funny actually.
Yeah, she's gonna be on next season because she's still only 13.
Yeah, but even so, I still think she can definitely make it through.
Oh yeah, as long as she doesn't have a slip like season 2, she can definitely become the first female champion of the 13-14 age group.
Yeah, so that's the finals.
Finally. We are finally done. Finally! Ah, God, I was getting tired of covering this.
Yeah, definitely for sure. It took forever. But anyway, let's talk about our future plans before we move on. And, yeah.
Okay, so it has been announced that the Women's Championship is airing on May 9th, just like last year. So that's going to be covered next time. After that, we'll announce the Stage 5 Ninja Awards and try to get them as best possible.
Yeah, we do know that the family special is going to be coming out the week at 2 weeks after the Mother's Day. So we're hoping that we get the Stage 5 Ninja Awards settled the week in between, but no promises on that.
Yeah, we have a plan, and it's generally going to go, hopefully it's going to go as well as we hope.
Yeah, but anyway, next time we're covering the Women's Championship for Season 13. That was certainly something, so I can't wait to cover it.
Yep, but anyway, that's next time. This time, we're done. We are finally done Ninja Warrior Jr.
Yeah, I do want to apologize for how long this took us, but I'm glad we were able to finish up and glad you guys were all here for the journey.
Yeah, definitely for sure. We'll see you guys next time for the Women's Championship. And, yeah, see you guys there.
Peace.